Hey lovely people, thank you so much for joining me in this video. Today's video will include a personal story, but it is a lovely video, so let's get to it. So story time. When I started my spiritual journey, I went online to discover what people are saying about several teachers, on social media. And one of the sites I ended up landing in, it's Tumblr. Okay, now on Tumblr, it is a fun site. Okay, people are sharing success stories, they are sharing their affirmations, their subliminals and all that stuff. And I was quite new to this side of affirmations, subliminals, and which teacher teaches powerful stuff that actually makes your manifestation comes faster and all that stuff. I was so new to this stuff, but it felt good to consume all this wonderful stuff. So I stayed in Tumblr for a while. Then I started interacting with these creators who are saying, I receive 10,000 USD in my bank account every day. They are saying, I am already living in my mansion, or something wonderful like that. Or I am already going to my dream university, which is like Ivy League or something, which is nice. And at first, I was just reading those affirmations like random posts. Then they started becoming more frequent. You know how the algorithm just suggests more of the same stuff you consume. Then I became, how do you say it? Not overwhelmed, but in the sense of overwhelmed, in the sense of they are saying such powerful affirmations, and my level of faith was not at par to those affirmations, okay? So every time they kept saying, I kept reading these wonderful posts saying, I have $1 million in my bank account right now. And in a voice in me was like, from where? How? You're poor. All that is fiction, is an illusion. So I went lower in the amount, but at the same time, I used to tell myself, I know it's personal story, so a lot of hand movements. I used to tell myself, I love that $1 million, it sounds nice in my head. But at the same time, the most logical amount of money I can receive right now is around 4,000. But at the same time, I don't want to what is the word? Reduce my faith, I trust the universe will give me $1 million. But at the same time, my capacity, the way yourself, is for receiving 4,000 right now. So at the same time, I don't want to limit myself to the amount of money that I can receive. So it was an entire conversation, a lot of headache and a lot of confusion in my head. So long story short, I left Tumblr. It was too much for me in my level of faith, and there was so much argument about which method was better than the other, which teacher was better than the other. And I'm like, well, okay, not my task. So I just left Tumblr. So yeah, so one of the things that I learned from that entire phase was, first of all, level of faith matters in terms of manifestation and receiving your answered prayers. So from my story, I could have easily told myself, one time that $1 million is in my bank account right now, which is okay. But at the same time, I was pushing myself to have that money right now, and if I did not have that money, I was doing something wrong. Okay, so it was an entire phase in my spiritual journey. So those posts or teachers or mentors that tell you one, to have patience. Second, have more patience and be open-minded to receive what the universe has for you. Me, I just wanted that money now and now and now. But since I am in a higher level of self-awareness now than then, which was like, let me say 2 or 3 or 4 years ago, I don't know, let's say 2 or 3 or 4. So I am in a higher level of awareness, so I can easily correct myself. So back then, when I was in a hurry, I was impatient for receiving that money. It was not that I was impatient, I was in the feeling of fear, okay? The fear of I am doing the wrong thing. That is why it was not coming true for me right now. So what I was manifesting more and more was fear and feeling afraid, and that came packaged with feeling worthless. I do not deserve that money. Also, I do not deserve those ideas that will generate money, as well as I do not deserve those people that will buy my product or service to like finance my idea. You like get, it's a whole package. So, and at the same time, when you feel afraid, you feel anger. Then you feel angry that you're wasting your time with all these teachers and their content. You are consuming so much informations and methods, feeling so frustrated. It was a journey for me. And at the same time, you're asking yourself, am I in the wrong timeline, if I may say? Am I doing the right thing with my life right now? Okay, because, true story by the way, I was living in my parents' house, first of all. And if you live in their house, you are under their rules and regulations. You can't just sleep until noon. And you are in your late 20s. Yes, my African mother will be like, you're becoming lazy and I wouldn't say useless, but she actually used that word. So, yeah. But that is not the part of the story I want to share. The part of the story I want to share is I kept seeing that these outer teachers and posts on social media and mentors and other people commenting and all that stuff, I kept seeing that those people were spreading false messages, and those messages do not come true. And if they do come true, they do not come true for me. Okay? It was an entire conversation that took place within months, obviously. But I won't say long story short again, but let me just have my moment. The lesson I learned, I've learned so many lessons. I'm just freestyling here. I don't even know what I'm saying in the past. I won't repeat myself. But the level of faith I was in only allowed me a certain amount of money, only allowed me a certain level of manifesting some things, okay? I couldn't just wake up one day and just say I wanted a Range Rover. I had to work up my faith. So, some of the things I learned during that phase, however painful and annoyed and angry and fearful I was, it was one of those groundbreaking moments of my life. And after I came out of that phase, I was like, you know what? I should give myself a bit more credit that I am actually here in the first place, okay? I do not start from square zero. I'm a bit privileged than a normal person, so yeah. My parents and family can support me, so I'm not starting from square zero. I'm starting from like square 10. Yeah, I did not acknowledge that, first of all. And in not acknowledging that, the fact that I'm starting from square 10 actually made me feel worse. Okay, it actually made me push away my own family, the supportive people that I have in my life, push away my friends, push away like amazing people in my life, even push away opportunities that could have grown my faith. So it was a very interesting phase in terms of my level of faith. Faith in this moment is synonym for belief, the actual amount of belief that you have in your life. So if you believe that the highest amount of money you can have is equivalent to 4,000 USD, that is the amount of money that is your limit. Okay? And I'm having so many thoughts right now. And since I've gone through that phase, what I can say is, first of all, do not stress yourself out. Okay, first of all, do not stress yourself out. Again, let me just repeat myself. Do not stress yourself out. Everything will work out for you. It doesn't have to work out for you right now, but it will work out for you. So, because that actual 4,000 USD came to me a few months later, but over a span of like 9 months, I got a job. So that 4,000 USD got manifested within a span of 9 months in terms of pay. So yeah, and it was amazing. So what I can say is everything will manifest for you, even if it doesn't manifest right here in this exact moment. It will manifest for you. And after I realized that, I started receiving answered prayers, and such as the job I've just mentioned. I did not ask for a job per se, like directly, this is what I'm affirming until I get a job. I just mentioned it once. Then I said I wanted to live in my own apartment. I wanted to live a walking distance from my job. So there's some things I mentioned casually when I was just saying, what, let me just do a job. Then I left it at that. Then the next year, I got a job which was a working distance from my house. And it was only after being in that job for around 4 months that one day I woke up at 4 a.m., when my thoughts are so clear, that I actually realized I was living in my answered prayer. So everything will manifest for you. Okay? Even if it's not right now. So I know some part of me did not want to be patient. Some part of me did not want to go through that growing phase, the part that where you release some limiting beliefs and actually upgrade your thoughts, upgrade your actions, your words, even your physical appearance, put more effort into being in a higher level and staying in that higher level. So, it was a whole journey, oh my God. And the fact that it was an entire journey for me is a blessing, first of all. I realized that now. But in the heat of that moment, I felt that it was more of an inconvenience. When I check out my own cousins, my own friends, they are starting up their own family, they are having wonderful jobs, they're buying their first cars, what people do in their 20s. And here I am in my parents' house, basically doing house chores every day and having many more allowance per month. it was an entire phase for me, but I do not push it away as a phase of my life where I hate it. It was more of appreciating. Right now, I appreciate that moment, even though in that moment I did not appreciate that moment. So, first of all, be patient with yourself. And 2, have faith that everything will work out for you, even if it's not right now, but everything will work out for you. And another thing, when you find the time, truly find time, you will realize that you are actually living right here and right now in an answered prayer of yours. Okay? Like truly, right here and right now. Even though it is like a stepping stone to the next level, this stepping stone is an answered prayer from a previous level. So life is a gradual upgrading to another level in your mind, in your body, in your soul, in your experience. It's a overall upgrading. And yeah, be patient with yourself. And the fact that a year from now you'll be way more upgraded in higher level of self-awareness and consciousness means that, you know what, let me just love where I am right now. Okay? Right now, as I've just said, is an answered prayer from a previous level. And that is like something to be grateful for, something to be happy about. And another thing mentioned in my story is comparison. Comparison is a 50-50 type of situation. If you're comparing yourself with others in an effort to improve yourself, you like saying, this random person on Pinterest has bought themselves let's say a Porsche, and they are living their life, they're having their small business, and it's bringing them some money, and you compare yourself to them and say, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it as well. That type of comparison is okay. But if it's that comparison of, I am seeing her thriving and being successful and being prosperous, and I feel inferior, and I feel jealous or even inferior again, then that is not a good comparison. That is like hurting yourself and harming yourself. And if you wish her bad, then that bad will like come back and hurt you. That is like story for another day. But yeah, those 4 points are the key elements, key lessons that I wanted to share from my personal story in that phase. I still can't believe. Obviously I believe, but it's so amazing. So thank you so much for joining me in this video. More story time for another day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.